What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. So we've looked at a few of the most popular automated investing platforms, including ones like Acorns, Wealthfront, and Betterment. But today we're actually going to take a look at a more mainstream brokerage that is offering a very similar yet competitive service, and that would be the Charles Schwab Intelligent Portfolios. So today let's break down everything that this automated investing platform has to offer and see how this service from a massive financial service company compares to some of the newer, smaller Robo-Advisors that we talked about in other videos. All right, let's jump right into it. So in case you're not familiar, Charles Schwab is a massive company that largely focuses on investment-related financial services, and I have actually reviewed the Charles Schwab platform as a whole, so if for whatever reason you do want a bigger picture of the entire company, then definitely check out that video. But after having a lot of you ask me about this Intelligent Portfolios feature, I spent some time getting to know the platform myself, and as someone who personally uses an automated investing tool for most of my own investing, I'll tell you right now that I am very impressed. Now, when it comes to automated investing in general, this is really going to be best for beginner investors or someone who just doesn't really have a whole lot of interest in building their own stock portfolio. And that is completely okay, because I know for some people it's just not that exciting. But even if you do enjoy finances and investing, an automated investing tool can be a fantastic option, especially for long-term investing like your retirement account, for example. So regardless of where you are at in your investing journey, I think this tool or a similar service can be a huge benefit to you in one way or another. Alright, so the best part about the Intelligent Portfolios tool, and really the reason that it caught my eye, is they currently charge 0 fees, meaning there's no fees for transferring, no management fees, or anything like that. Now, they do offer a premium level service that we'll talk about later on in the video, and there are a few fees that come along with that service, but for your average everyday investor who is just getting started, the standard Intelligent Portfolios tool is really all you're going to need, and that one is going to have no fees, meaning it is completely free, and that is awesome. If you remember, we looked at platforms like Wealthfront, Betterment, and Acorns, as I mentioned earlier, and while I do love those tools as well, and I use Wealthfront personally, they do charge a management fee of 0.25%. So if you're strictly looking at the cost of the service, then Charles Schwab is definitely coming out ahead in this case. Now, I do want to mention that while Charles Schwab themselves does not charge any management fee on their end, obviously the ETFs and other assets that they are investing your money in do still have those related fees and expense ratios, and honestly, there's no way to avoid that. For example, if you were to go and buy an S&P 500 index fund like VT Sachs, then currently that has a management fee or expense ratio of 0.04%. And regardless of whether you buy that from Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, or any other brokerage, there is no way to avoid that expense ratio. But that being said, the average expense ratio for the ETFs that Charles Schwab invests in is around 0.11%, which is pretty decent considering all of the amazing tools that you're going to be getting with this service. Plus, even if you tried to replicate something like this yourself, not only is that going to be very labor intensive and difficult to do, but you're still going to have to pay those expense ratio fees on those similar ETFs. Now, as far as where your money is being invested, this is another area that I feel Charles Schwab really does excel in, and they offer you a lot more options than your typical Robo-Advisor. At the moment, they give you 81 different portfolio options that are built from 53 different ETFs that span 10 different families of funds and 20 different asset classes, including US markets, global markets, with a focus on income investments, such as a dividend portfolio. Now, I know that choosing from 81 different portfolio options might sound really overwhelming and impossible, but I promise it is not, and just like other similar platforms, they are going to walk alongside you through the entire process and recommend portfolios based on your financial goals right now and where you want to be in the future. So it's not like they're just going to put all 81 of these portfolios in front of you and say pick one. They're going to make sure that you are using the best portfolio option for your financial goals. For comparison's sake, something like Acorns only has 5 different portfolio options that are all relatively the same and really just change the ratios of how much is being invested in certain assets within that portfolio. So as far as the portfolio options are concerned, Charles Schwab once again definitely has the advantage here. Another important area to consider when looking for a brokerage is what investment vehicles that they offer. And remember, an investment vehicle is simply the type of account that you are going to buy your stocks, ETFs, or other assets through. For example, a standard investing account is an investment vehicle, and something like a Roth IRA is also an investment vehicle. But the tax advantages and rules and regulations around these two different accounts are very, very different. And the one that you choose is going to depend on your financial goals that you are trying to achieve. But the good news is that Charles Schwab currently offers individual accounts, joint accounts, traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs, SEP IRAs, which is one option that a lot of competitors don't actually offer, inheritance rollover IRAs, plus they also have trust account options and what's called UGMA and UTMA accounts, which are basically custodial account options that you can open for your children. Okay, so outside of all of the fantastic investment tools and options that they have, I will also point out that the advantage of going with such a large company like Charles Schwab means that not only are you going to have a ton of other fantastic financial tools at your disposal, but Charles Schwab also offers 24/7 customer support that is very highly rated, and I have nothing but good things to say about it in my experience. As always, this all sounds really good, so what's the catch? Well, in this case, the biggest bummer is that at the moment there is a minimum investment in the Intelligent Portfolios tool of $5,000 for the standard account and $25,000 for the premium account. So while a tool like this is definitely good for beginners who are just getting started with investing, someone who is brand new might not have or be ready to dump $5,000 into the markets. So it is kind of a bummer that this minimum investment is so high, but the good news is that there are plenty of other options out there who offer a very similar service with no minimum investment, such as Betterment, for example. The other bummer is that while Charles Schwab does use the strategy called tax loss harvesting that is very popular with other competitors, you do have to have at least $50,000 invested with them in order to take advantage of that feature. Now, as we've talked about with a lot of those competitors, many of them utilize this tax loss harvesting strategy to lower the taxes that you have to pay by strategically selling off certain assets for a loss when they are down. And as a result, the money that you are saving often covers the management fee that those competitors charge. So, while in this case it is disappointing that you have to have $50,000 or more invested in order to access that tool, keep in mind that they don't charge you any fee to begin with. So at the end of the day, it's kind of a zero-sum game because you may not have that tax loss harvesting advantage as a smaller investor, but you also aren't being charged a fee. So it kind of cancels each other out. I have also noticed that the cash allocation for the Charles Schwab Intelligent Portfolios is significantly higher than similar services, meaning they typically keep more cash on the sidelines. But depending on your views on investing, this might actually be a good thing and definitely isn't necessarily bad, because when it comes to investing and keeping cash on the sidelines, that actually allows you to invest in certain assets that might be at a lower price when those stocks are pulling back. But again, this portfolio is completely customizable and they are automatically going to rebalance everything for you, which is really the big advantage of an automated investing tool. So even if they are keeping a lot more cash on the sidelines than you would like, you can always go into the platform and tweak things to make sure that your portfolio is matching the time horizon and the risk tolerance that you have set for yourself. Now, lastly, I know that this doesn't apply to most of us, but if you do meet the minimum investment requirement of $25,000, then they do offer that premium intelligent investing service that I mentioned earlier, and that actually gives you access to real certified financial planners if you do want more personalized and custom advice. And not surprisingly, that does come with a fee, which is a percentage of how much you have invested. So overall, this is a really great automated investing tool, and the biggest advantages here are obviously those no fees on the standard account, quick access to the other amazing financial tools that Charles Schwab has to offer, and perhaps best of all, in my opinion, a much wider scope of investment options because they are such a large brokerage. But at the end of the day, it always comes down to personal preference and what you personally like. So I'd love to hear what you think of this Charles Schwab Intelligent Portfolios tool down in the comment section below, and how you feel it stacks up against similar competition like Acorns, Wealthfront, and Betterment. As always, if you did enjoy this video and you want to help support me, it would mean a lot to me if you would hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who you think would get value out of this content as well. And as always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.